Right, we'll try again. The internet shit itself. I actually don't know if it's necessarily the internet always seems to go around, down 2 o'clock most days where I am, or if it's just Windows 10 being shit that it just randomly fucks up the networking port around 2 o'clock time. Because I have seen a lot of people complaining with Windows 10 that actually Windows 10 often just decides at certain times of the day it wants to shut down web traffic. Right, shalom again to you, Frugal. Hopefully most people get back. No, Sniper Sight, I don't think it's anything too conspiratorial. It's either my internet gets overloaded at this time of day because a lot of people use it, or it's that Windows 10 is fucking shit, which we know, and Windows 10 has some sort of weird networking thing where it randomly kind of resets your internet port at certain times of the day, crashing the connections. Yeah, but the thing is, Sparrow, how else are they going to enforce it? I know that sounds very draconian, but in France, what they've been doing that's working well is you have to print out a form or write out a form that says, I am going out at this time. I expect I'll be back at this time. My reason for going out is this. And the reason is if a policeman stops you when you're walking about, they can check that you're actually doing what you're saying, and then they can instantly fine you if you're not. So if you said, I'm going to the pharmacy, then going back home, and you're nowhere near a pharmacy or nowhere near your house, they can literally, slap you with a fine there. And yeah, again, as much as it's draconian, I'd never really want to sound like a bootlicker saying this. It's like, what's more important, saving people's lives or, protecting idiots who just want to break rules for the sake of breaking it? Well, where's that, Mr. Livera, in the UK or elsewhere? Yeah, exactly, Alf. That's what I was complaining about earlier. It's what tomorrow's video is about. I was going to film a video today, right, for tomorrow. That was going to be a nice, good video on how to make a DIY mask to protect yourself. And guess what? I went out to the pharmacy to pick up my weekly medication, followed all the rules I had to do. I had a mask on. I made sure I didn't talk to anybody other than the pharmacist, all that sort of stuff. Stood like 2 meters away from the nearest person when they were in a queue in the pharmacy. And people just out and about enjoying the sun, chatting with each other. Not a care in the world. They're going to need to get serious, I think, with this lockdown stuff, because it's all well and good saying you can't do this, but unless they're fining or imprisoning people for breaking those rules, what's the point? Thank you very much, Eltrix. He says, it's land, change to my Discord name. I just don't like people ignoring the new laws and rules. Then they go out and get sick, hurt, then blame other people for them not listening. Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much for the donation, but yeah. Well, sorry, it's Ian. I thought you read that. I read that as it's LAN, as in because of my internet crashing out, as in it's the LAN connection. But yeah, change your Discord name so I know you are. Yeah, Eltrix. But yeah, that's the problem. Like you said, these will be the people who won't follow the rules, and then they'll blame everybody else if something goes wrong. Like, if a family member of theirs gets sick or dies because they've ignored the rules, then of course, why didn't the government do enough? Why didn't other people follow it? Sadly, this is the kind of thing you see with a lot of these people. P2 is certainly better than nothing. P3 is obviously desirable, but if you can't get a P3 and can only get a P2, it's certainly better than nothing. Just as P1 is better than nothing. Yeah, Lewis, did you see the thing the other day about Snowdonia, where they had their record day for amount of people visiting when people were told not to go out? Sadly, Lefezra, I don't think it's unique to the UK. Yeah, like you're saying, it's probably happening all over the world. People told to stay in and then they ignore it because, you can't tell me what to do. Right, Hype, he said, some good news. EU, China, and the US are still mass producing a rapid immunoassay test strips for the coronavirus results in a few minutes of the day. That's excellent news. Is that the one where it uses a blood sample, or is it one where it checks if the body's built antibodies for disease? But regardless, that's good, obviously, isn't it? If you can get a more accurate, very quick test result, not a test lagging behind by a couple of days required to be posted or whatever. If they're actual MP5s Peacemaker for that price, that's good. The only problem is French ARFA masks, whatever they're called, often turn up anyway. Yeah, exactly. People like, my job's closed down, so let's go out and about. No, that's your job's closed down because of the fact it's a risk to people's lives. Shropshire Lad said, are there any tips for reusing the disposal mask? Social acceptability is still a factor for me, unfortunately. If they're the really sort of disposable ones that you can't reuse, sadly not. If you want to extend the life of, let's say, a dust mask, try and keep it as dry as possible. Put it under UV light when you take it off to try and kill anything that's on it. But yeah, sadly, if it's, you know, a really standard thing, not really. Yeah, I had my mask on again today when I went out, and because the pharmacist had all the stuff on, you know, that made me feel a lot better in a sense, because they seemed reassured actually that somebody had come in, you know, and was standing further back from other customers and had a mask on. Hype says, yep, IgG and IgM assays takes blood samples and can even be done without a lab and any training. The fact it says both anti-CoV IgG and IgM means it also tackles recent infections. Well, that's very useful. I don't understand half of what you said, but the thing is, I think yay science is what we're saying, isn't it? That it works to protect people. Well, not protect them, but tell them how recently they've had it. Thank you again, Sniper Sight. Well, isn't that a good thing if he closed down a site selling false vaccines? You're not so free market, are you, Sniper Sight, that you want to be able to buy a scam vaccine that won't do anything? Oh yeah, what I was showing before the stream died was my favourite doctor on this mug. Yeah, Sam, I'd agree. People are being just idiotic about this. Adaptus Mechanopticus, sounds like a 40k name, said, I found some MP5 masks in the UK for about £30. Got any contact details so I could send you a link? You could check if it's genuine supply to people that needs them. I mean, if you just want to... What do you mean, as in... Is it an eBay thing? Because if so, can you tell me exactly what you typed in, and I can check to see if it's a Mask Power MP5 or if it's a French one? MOF4 filters and Polish MS4 filters, they're the ones that have been confirmed neither way if they contain asbestos or not, but they're much better quality filters than GP5 filters anyway. So I'd say at this point in time, if you've got one of those and it's the only filter you've got for a mask, I'd risk wearing it personally, especially if it's only you're wearing a mask out and do some shopping and then taking it off again. Eye protection seal's quite important, Palfy, in the sense, do you mean like people coughing into your eyes? Afternoon, Rajiv. Yeah, exactly. So you're backing up what I've been saying earlier, that people just ignoring quarantine rules. It's better than nothing, William the Butcher's son, but yeah, you shouldn't be doing that, should you? And again, surgical masks are like the least protective thing anyway. Scott said, saw a story pop up here a couple of days ago that France was impounding masks that were to be delivered to the NHS. I don't know, but I know France has been, lots of countries actually are doing a thing where they're banning PPE exports because they want it for themselves, which you can't blame them for. Germany's been doing it, Russia's been doing it and that, but, you know, if they're cancelling orders that are already placed, that's a bit shitty. I mean, if it's a case of you can't order anything from this date, then that would be fine, really, but... Hopefully you'll be all right, Logan. But yeah, it's not ideal, is it? What I'm doing, Rajiv, is Mountain Blade Bannerlord, is it called? The new Mountain Blade. That comes out next week, so I'll be getting that. And then I'll be getting the Resident Evil 3 remake like a week later. And then hopefully I can just take my mind off things playing those, because, you know, not much else I can do. Is that Gas Mask Collector posted what I assume is Hebrew, is it? Or something like that? But I'm afraid I can't read what you've said, but I'm going to guess that's Hebrew. Hype said Russia is now handing 5-year prison sentences to those who violate quarantine. I think they're going to have to do that, though, because this is the problem here, is as much as some people here might say, oh, look at Russia, police state, these are the same people that are just fucking ignoring every guidance that's put around, you know. What's Generation Zero, then? Bill C? Or Billy C, sorry. Vijay says, are there any modern GOST filters that aren't out of date, or are the early FPI? No, if you want actual GOST filters, two types. I did a video. I'll do a video on this one in a day or two. Hype sent me both of these. Ignore the dirty looking bottom of this one. It's because I opened it to show the HEPA filter inside. But there are the Russian dot filters and the Russian breeze or briz filters. Both of these are GOST, so they actually fit both NATO and GOST masks absolutely fine. Pretty good filters, although some of these are obviously quite bulky. But, you know. Yeah, well, Duke Nugget sent me a thing about that Calvin the other day. So I didn't know about the P5, but this is where it gets really confusing, right? So I reckon, and I was chatting to Hype about this and a few other people, that what ended up happening is when FP5 filters first went into production, they were just the same P5 filters, just given a different name that they claimed are either normalized or NATO threaded. So I think what ended up happening is partway through the life of FP5 filters and then the FP6 filter, the tooling was changed. That's what Hype thinks, and I think that's quite, likely. So essentially that's why old FP5 filters seem to fit GOST masks fine, but newer ones don't, because it's probably just a case of newer FP5 filters are just NATO filters, which makes sense because Poland's, a NATO member. But earlier on, they were called FP5 filters, but they were just the P5 filters. Because interestingly, if it's handy, yeah, here it is. See, this is an FP211 filter that Marspol did that was around the same time as the early FP5s. If you look at that bit, see, it just says RD40X4, the same as the GOST filters and like the P5s. But the thing is, my early FP5 filters, although they said X4 and then 17, 1/7 thread or whatever it is, twist, they were the exact same threads as these because they would both flawlessly screw into the same masks. So I reckon that's what the thing is. I bought some digital calipers. So when I dig out all my FP5 videos, I'll actually, not FP5 videos, FP5 filters at some point, I'll do a video on it using the digital calipers on a lot of the threads to see, which ones, because I know for certain I've got FP5s that definitely 100%, I will bet you money on it, fit my GOST mask absolutely fine, but then I've got FP5s that don't. So I don't think it's actually, a thing of FP5 filters are all, all GOST or all NATO. I think it is a thing that partway through the life of the filters, they probably did switch the tooling. And Hype said most probably the Soviet-era GOST thread tooling wore out, and they had to change it out with Stanag thread tooling. Yeah, it's probably that, isn't it? And the thing is as well, that I reckon it was just kind of a dodgy thing with the labeling. Yeah, exactly. So I think that's the exact thing. I reckon what they did probably originally is they were told by NATO or whatever, because they were a NATO member, you need to have your standard filters be NATO threaded. So they just literally stuck, fake NATO labels on the GOST filters. And that's probably why eventually they, changed the tooling to the real NATO one. And see, that way, everybody, I think, is right who was saying everything about FP5 filters. There's no finger pointing involved in that. Like if I said FP5 filters fit GOST masks, well, some do. If somebody like Duke Nugget said that, they don't fit GOST masks, if he's had ones that don't, and he's correct. I think what probably, like we said, has happened is, I know we're going on a massive tangent about FP5s now, but I think it is just a case of it really depended, which FP5 you got, which threading it had on it. Mask and Prep said, had to take my mask off today to buy vape juice as she could not confirm I was over 18, I am 32. I've got a load of vape juice over there, but I just mail order it, where they might ask you for a passport picture the first time you buy it, and then after that they'll just send it. Adapter said, could Hype ping me link to Google it? I have mine already, but if someone else needs it, then it'd be nice to put seal of approval. Yeah, if you found a way of getting Hype a link, yeah, please get him to send it me, because he's a mod, so he can post it. Apologies. Yeah, I vape. I quit smoking a couple of years ago, although now I'm locked down, I'm getting tempted to smoke again. I shouldn't say that, should I? But yeah. But some days I don't vape, some days I do. I just generally like quite strong nicotine, sort of cherry flavoured vape stuff. Hype, I think he was looking at some MP5s and he wanted to know if they were actual MP5s or the French ones. Vijay says, do you have a link to those gloss filters you showed? Because I'm trying to find some more. Sadly, there's probably not any links at the moment, Vijay, because Hype sent me those, and at the moment, he sent me them a while ago. At the moment, it would seem that because Russia's blocking PPE export, so they can use it for their, medics and everything else, their hospital staff, their soldiers, you're probably not going to find any. Right, try and work it out from my username list, because you'll be able to get it within 1 year of the correct date if you do. Yakov says Briz doesn't ship outside of Russia. That's a shame, but the Briz filters are good. Secret Dosek, my Turkish SR6 mask is made out of natural rubber. Does it have any negatives compared to butyl? It's probably more comfortable than butyl, but it won't be as resistant to certain gases. But in terms of using it for corona, no disadvantages there. Yeah, the rum's open. It's in the drinks cabinet. I had a rum and coke the other day. Don't trip. But it's too early in the day to drink at the moment. I might actually have today off, because where I had a full one of those left beers last night, I did feel ever so slightly hungover today. So how many units are in these? It's pretty insane, isn't it? Big Belgian beer. 6.5% volume, 750 milliliters. Yeah, 3.9. So that's almost like having 4 shots of, hard liquor. A bottle of those, especially if you don't drink it slowly enough. So, yeah. All right, cool, Shrimps. I'll try and watch that if I'm around while you live stream. I'm 26, Liv, but close enough. Mobe was correct. Let me Google it. I am the typer, but probably not. RPG 67. No, the closest I have to that is I think it was either Hungarian or Romanian one I reviewed. Or maybe it was even Bulgarian. I've probably got it in a box to be safe and not get crushed, but it was a similar design to that one. Just, like a Warsaw Pact country sort of copy with some bits slightly changed. Jim says, Michigan is having a 3-week lockdown after our government was begged for weeks. No one is obeying it. By me, and she waived fees on state parks at the same time. We're number 9 on COVID-19 hotspots. Well, stay safe. But yeah, I think the UK is going to be one of the worst countries in all of Europe when you look at the death figures. I think we're going to make Italy look good. And that's not me saying bad things about the Italians. God bless all those medics and everybody else in Italy struggling through this. But the UK government has done a lot less, and people are obeying the laws a lot less strictly than Italy. So I think what you're going to start seeing is, the Italian figures will look good in comparison to what ends up happening in the UK, because of all these people that are just being selfish and not wanting their life to be impacted by any sort of rules. That's good, Alf. I didn't get a text saying you must stay at home. Was that because you were on the medical risk list? All I have is people at my work Facebook group chatting with each other about when can we go back to work and stuff like that. I'm providing some info on PPE at least, and government announcements, because I don't know if everybody at my work thing would look it up otherwise. But yeah, I've not had a text, and I'm asthmatic and everything else. But knowing our government, it's probably just lack of clarity. Same Tesco, I'm quite libertarian normally, but seeing how stupid most people act, and that, you're not allowed to blast people for violating the NAP if they stand within 2 meters of you or cough on you, No, so you shouldn't be on any risk list, but you still got a text. Very interesting. I'll see if I can find a link for you, William. But a lot of the places sell out. Depends which brand of mead you want to buy, but if this place has got them in, a few different sites have the one in. The problem is one of the ones I really like. I'm going to link you to one I really like, but annoyingly, I think they've discontinued these. So it's like a case of when all the sites run out that have it in stock, they won't have any in stock. There you go. Thank you very much, Eltrix. He says, work here in the US is still open, mainly grocery automotive. I don't know why my school is closed past May 15th. Oh, you've had a text today, Mike. Yeah, I've not had one unless they're just slow sending it, or I've not had good enough signal most of the day to receive it or something. I think they actually should vigil, whether they will or not, I don't know. Because this is the problem with this. There's lots of things I think they should do and proactively do, but a lot of governments just aren't doing it. No, I'm the type of that's not too personal. No, normally no. I mean, sometimes I'll have surplus stuff on if it's just comfortable or got a lot of pockets, So if I go out walking, not at the moment, obviously, because of the risks, and I'm going to obey the rules, even if a lot of other people are breaking them. I quite often wear things like Flecton or DPM trousers just because of all the pockets and that in them. Sometimes I'll use military kind of satchel bags if I'm needing to go out and transport stuff with me, but for the most part, no, I don't. I don't really go out with much military kind of gear on. Gas Mask Garage said, what would I type into eBay if I was looking for a mask because airsoft and fake ones keep coming up? As in, you don't want an airsoft one, you want a real one. Is there a particular mask you want? I'll just try and find it for you. Gas Mask Collector said, is Stanag the same as NATO filter because I'm buying a spare? I have the S10 mask from Pakistan. Yeah, Stanag, 40mm Stanag, 40mm NATO, and RD40 should all be the same thing. But if you've got a NATO mask, if you end up buying a GOST filter by accident, it will still screw in at least. Thank you very much, Frisco CBR, if that's your name. He said, hey there, I have an M2FV Serbian black gas mask, and after washing it, some kind of white stuff appeared. I read somewhere that is wax. How to clean it? If that's rubber blooming, which I suspect it might be, silicone lubricant will clean it. Let me get mine to show you what that is. So, if you buy silicone lubricant and spray that on and polish it, that normally gets rubber blooming off. But if it is rubber blooming, that's just a thing that appears on the rubber as it ages. It's not really an actual, thing you need to worry about. But Rajiv says, you've seen that apparently new mask US selling, black with removable filters, selling tons every second. I forgot the name. No, I have no idea which one you're on about, I'm afraid. Any keywords you can give me so I can look it up, but off the top of my head. Tesco Propaganda Ministry says, do you think it's better for a city or small town or village? Or to be in one? On the one hand, I think personally, if you don't want to be infected, you're better off in a smaller place like a village. But again, if things went bad, there's generally better logistics in cities for hospitals. This is all the problems at the moment. I don't know if you've been hearing about this on the news, but lots of people who have second houses or whatever have just gone to random, really remote areas where the health services can't cope with more than the normal amount of people being there because they're like, oh, I'm safer here, so I'm just going to stay here. So there's like authorities begging people now to just stay at home, basically. But, actually stay at where your home is. Don't go somewhere else, and overwhelm somebody else's health infrastructure. But yeah. Let me look those filters up. If they're combination filters, yeah, the combination ones is that. Which one is it though? Is it like the A2P3 or the ABEC 2P3? But if it's ABEC 2P3, I would say free for £50 if they're in date is worth it. Yes. Alf says, I bought an S10 because all 60 to 40mm NATO converters for reason price sold out. 21 plus 11 postage, it was cheaper to buy S10 for 55 filter. Oh, S10's a brilliant mask. Have you got your S10 yet, and do you like it? I love the S10, but I think you all know that. Sort of STLND Thomas. Yeah, I do like watches, but again, I've not really got the money to spend on really, really nice high-end watches. My daily wear watch, it should be in this drawer somewhere if it's not too buried for ages, was a Vostok Amphibia. Because that's a really nice Soviet watch. But the problem with the Vostoks ended up being... no, apologies, I think my Vostok's too deeply buried in the drawer. But the issue being with the Vostok, a part came loose, and I could not find a correct screwdriver after ages of looking online to actually retighten this bit. But Vostoks are lovely when they work. Dallas Med 65, who's got an authentication tick, hello. Said, what was the original use of that yellow sign in the background? The big gas mask one. Apparently it was from some Warsaw Pact countries, probably Poland, based on a lot of the surplus the seller had in, like army firing range type thing. So he had, like, when he had signs in stock, he had things like tanks crossing, all that sort of thing. And that was a gas mask sign, so I was assuming it was an area, where gas showers are being fired or whatever, so wear your mask or whatever. Mozu says, can I have a shout out? There you go. I don't have a twin port S10 or FM12. I've got a twin port CT12. The only problem with the twin port ones is make sure you've got the blanking plug for it, because if you don't, you always have to have 2 filters on it. If the spaghetti bolognese, the filters you're looking at, were £50 for free, they're ABEC 2P3 and in date. Yeah, that makes it what? Just over £15-16 a filter. For that, I would say go for it, because you've always got them then as spares, haven't you? If you're on about, Eli, the Sudot 61T, they're all out of date, because they're from the 80s at the latest. If you mean modern Finnish Army filters, I have no idea, because I've never seen them. I don't have an N10. Is the N10 waddle just the S10 without a drinking tube? Don't pay that for lift, whatever you do. If you want to donate, H. Hayes, I really appreciate that. There's a couple of ways you can do it. In the super chat button should be below. There's the live chat, and then below there should be a dollar symbol. Apologies, you can click that. Or, I'm getting sort of like hiccup things from the coffee I just drank. Or you can click, there's a Patreon link below, and donate via Patreon. Tower Duck says, sorry mate, dumb question here. Can I wear a surgical mask inside a GP5? I don't see much point in doing it. If it doesn't break the seal with the GP5 of your face, there's no real harm doing it, as long as it doesn't suffocate you. There's no real advantage either. I'll just say this now. For people in America, because it was something Duke Nougat asked me to say, and I'll say it just as a community relations type thing. Even if I did have a falling out again with some of the people there, but we won't go into that. I'll just say this. If you're in America, there's not much point buying FP5 filters. In Europe, they're very cheap. And, if you end up getting the ones that are GOST threaded, lovely. In America, if FP5 filters cost you more than getting, other in-date American filters, just go for those. Because I don't want to sound like I'm encouraging people to spend more on FP5 filters when they've got other things available. Is that the Australian one lift? As in Australian Defence Forces? Gas Mask Collector said, is the MP4 good for a cheeky mask, or cheek filter mask, because I ripped mine by putting M17 filters in it? MP4s are alright. Polish MP4s are probably my favourite Warsaw Pact M17 clone, because the Polish MP4s are kind of closest to the M17, if that makes sense. Because the issue with, say, Czech M10s is on the face of it, they look better, right, than Polish MP4s. But I actually find Polish MP4s are more comfortable because they kind of work better, because they're kind of a 1-1 copy of an M17 for the most part. Right, I'll pray for you, KJ, but maybe contact the thing. I've requested a refund for that mask that didn't turn up months ago now, because when I last contacted the seller, they said give it a bit more time, and I've given it another week and it's still not there. So I said, Amazon, give me some money back for this, please. Thank you again, Altrix. He said, I really want an M40 mask now. Know anywhere that sell them for less than $100 to $150. As I'm in the UK, it's hard to advise on that. My only advice is keep checking eBay.com for ones on auction, I guess, or buy it nows. But I was just lucky enough to get an M40 eventually from somebody in Germany selling them, because apparently it was a thing that when a lot of German, like US bases closed in Germany or something, lots of the equipment was left behind, so people just sold it. I am the type 2 says, well, then I'm going again, but the best wish to see you in the future. Yeah, see ya, but stay safe. GZDo says, you done too little, little too late. You left it up to fate. Just leave us in this state, you thieves. Or no, you could cough away from me. Is that a song? Tesco said, I ordered an M2 with 40mm thread, and they sent an M1 with complain because the M2 is worth more. The M2 is a really good mask, other than the fact that it might randomly mount on you. If you can't do anything better, Victor Man, at least it's something. Flatcap said, apologies if I missed comments, but the chat normally moves too fast. Hello again, Max. He said, thank you very much as well. Good filter in the US is surplus C2A1 canisters. Yep, that is good. I've got regular C2 canisters. I've not got a lovely green C2A1, but yeah, I like the regular C2, and that's the C2A1 is the one without the chromium, isn't it? So yeah, that's US Army filters, good. Flapcap said, hey, I just saw your recent video on the cheap Chinese mask, too little, too late. What's a good alternative on eBay that you've recommended in this cheap mask? Better than nothing. Right, the problem is, at the moment, not much stuff in stock. I'll have a look for you in a minute and see what country you're in, Flapcap. Because, again, I can only really look at what's available in the UK, because quite often when I look for stuff in the US, people then say, oh, the postage is too expensive or whatever. Calvichin said, possible to do a banana seal test on your new MF11 with a NATO filter? Yeah, certainly can. I got one, and I want to be sure if the new MF11 really works on NATO. Let me just double check what an MF11 is again. I feel like I'm being really stupid now. I can't. Is that a mask or a filter? Oh, it's the FMJ05, isn't it? The export one. Yep, I can do that at some point. I have redone the straps on it, so it should hopefully stay tight to my face. But yeah, I'll get around to doing that at some point. That's a reprinted old Russian substation sign, but it says "Death to Western Spies" or something like that on it. Johnny says, man, I wonder what I did to get muted. I can see you there. I don't think you're muted. Mick says, I'm looking at a couple of S10s on eBay. Does the date really matter that much? Obviously, the newer the better. No, it's not a big deal as long as they're in good condition. Again, officially, they have something like a 20-year shelf life. But the thing is, I've got an S10 from something like 87, and I've got another S10 from 2009. The 2009 one is in better condition, but there's not much between them. You know, if both had been looked after just as well and used just as much, they'd be pretty much identical. Certainly, you certainly can use a Polish filter on the shims. If you use a Polish MS4 filter, it will fit absolutely fine as their GOST filters. If you use an FP5, it will have to be before a certain date, and we don't know what the date is on top of our head. If you get an FP211 filter, that should work absolutely fine, because these are actually just RD40X4, apparently. It's a hard one. Can I cheat and say check CM3? Because that's just a better version of the MC1. But the MC1 you can probably get to fit you better, because if you get the size closest to you and then you tighten the straps accordingly, the MC1 will fit better. But I do like GB5s, you know, as much as people slag off the GB5s because they were mass produced. If it fits you, you know, and it's in good condition, it's a mask, isn't it? I don't actually know, Johnny, because I've not got an MSA Millennium. I've got the MCU2P. Maybe somebody who has both masks can answer you, but I'm afraid I don't know. If not, the gas mask and respirator wiki might have info on that on there. I've not actually looked about the Millennium on there. Paul says, keep up the good work and donated £2. Thank you very much. Flapcat said, I'm in the US. Sorry if you saw the other message I made, and this is repetitive, but I think you might have missed it. What, do you want a good mask suggestion if you're in the US, Flatcap? I was looking for people the other day in the US, and we couldn't find any 3M things in stock or similar. But if you want a 3M type mask, I can look again for you in a minute, but I don't know if we'll find anything. H. Hayes, thank you very much. He said, I have a JPSP or JSP, I guess you mean Force 8. Went to purchase 4 extra P3 filters. I was told the Portland stock was requisitioned for NHS use. Wear your mask, people. Right. Thank you for letting me know about that. People a couple of weeks ago were saying about requisitioning, and other people saying, oh, we've got no proof it's not happening. But I reckon it probably is, because they've just left it too late, and now they're desperate for stock. Oh, it's the afternoon here, Lift, but I suppose it's even in Australia, isn't it? But yeah, I'm not streaming tonight for anybody that's wondering, because I'm cutting my hair a bit later. I'm just charging up my new set of clippers at the moment. Where did I get my ECBA? eBay. Let me see if there's any more on eBay, but they do turn up on eBay quite a bit. You just have to try and get one where it's all included for a good price. Sometime you'll get them, you know, with the Kevlar filler and no plates. Looking on eBay at the moment, it seems like there's mostly just the covers and sometimes the covers with filler for the £10 to £20 price. But it seems most, unfortunately, don't have the plates with them at the moment. I have noticed in the UK though recently, lots and lots and lots of body armor and stuff like that is all selling out, and I imagine it's because people are worried and they're buying it, which doesn't bode too well, does it? I have this stuff because I like collecting it, but if all of a sudden stuff that's always in stock is selling out, like helmets, body armor, all that stuff, that's a bit worrying because it makes you think, what's it going to be used for? Somebody might have replacement straps for the S10 on sale on eBay, Mick, but if not, any 6-point head harness for a mask should fit it well enough. Let me look up the 2097 filter because I can never remember with 3M which filters are which by number. Let's have a look. Those are the flat disc P3, P100 ones. Yes, that will work fine. Flapcat said, yeah, if nothing else, something that will work better than the Chinese mask I've got. The case my city dole the other day and I can't wear my Israeli full face mask at work long. So you just want a half face mask, do you? Let me have a quick look for you on ebay.com. So apologies if I miss any chat messages, but I'm just trying to look for something for somebody. So we want a US seller, don't we? Ideally. Does anybody know on ebay.com if I type in something like if there's any way of setting it only to United States? Because at the moment the issue I'm having is it keeps coming up with like sellers from Europe or the UK, which is not what we want. But I think China's exporting PPE again. If you buy this one, I need to buy one of these myself to review it. Oh, wait, no, sorry, these are filters. Oh, good thing I checked. I thought that was the mask, but they were advertising the filters. Sneaky. Sneaky, sneaky. What I'm just trying to do is see if I can get things from the US only, so you could probably get them in stock. But, right, I found you something. Right, this isn't too expensive, and I think it's a US seller. Right, let me just at you, Flapcat, so you definitely see that. Have a look at this one. You might have to buy filters separately, but at least it's got a buy it now on it, and it's a US seller, and it's MSA, so it's a proper mask company. I've given my mum my MSA Advantage 410 to wear because it actually fits her now when she needs to go out with a mask. Oh yeah, I always forget about Varustelika, however it's pronounced, that Finnish surplus site. Do I play any video games, Lift? Yes, at the moment I've been playing a lot of Garry's Mod, weirdly. I'll be getting Mount & Blade Bannerlord next week, and Resident Evil 3 Remake the week after. But a lot of the time at the moment I just like reading and listening to documentaries, rather than doing all that much. Spaghetti, you used to be able to get them for £40 to £60 sort of price range. I think they're massively more expensive now because I couldn't even find any in stock when I looked the other day for somebody asking about them. And Lee says, do you think it's now acceptable to wear my Scott Aviva mask in the supermarket? Yes, I wore my mask to the pharmacy today and the pharmacist had a mask on. I wore my mask to the supermarket last weekend. Other people had masks on and other people were doing stuff like this. So yes, I would say it's acceptable. If people say weird things to you, just fuck them because, you're doing more to protect other people by mitigating the spread of a disease and the people just not taking any precautions. So yes, wear your masks, please. It's better for everybody. Yep. I don't know who you're replying to there, Heli or Helg, but yes, gas mask sizes matter because if you get the wrong size, it won't make an airtight fit to your face. Deuce says, you should have a live Gmod session we can join and build a COVID-19 bunker. Weirdly, I'm playing Zombie Survival more on it, but I would like to play with the people on the Discord server who've donated, actually, saying that. A few people have added me on Steam on there, but if at some point, maybe tonight or whatever, I'm free, and a load of people are on Discord in the chat and you all have Gmod, we could all go on the server together. We'll just use the Discord voice chat to do that. But... Kerwhip says, is a Yugoslavian M1 or Czech CM5D any good? What's the CM5D? I've got a CM4 and a CM3. I'm going to say the Czech one's going to be literally better without looking, because Yugoslav M1's like the worst quality proper gas mask I know of. The Czech one looks way, way better. So it looks like a CM4 with a panoramic lens. Yeah, go for the Czech one by a mile. That Czech one is better. Yeah. So, yeah, I'd say go for the Czech one. I want to actually try and find one of those Czech ones actually to buy and review. But let's have a look on eBay. Czech 5. So MT5. Oh, sorry, it'd be CM5, wouldn't it? Because MC is the Polish one. CM5. Oh, yeah, there's ones on eBay. They've got... Oh, Centurion Surplus. I'll put a link in here for anybody that wants it, because they've got them in stock. I'm just going to buy one for myself and I'll review it. They have size 4, small to medium, for $45.95 plus postage. Comes with a filter by the look of it. Yeah, so I'll get one of these. It literally looks like a CM4 with a panoramic lens, but, you know, I'll get one of these for myself or a family member, because if I get one, you know, I can at least give it to somebody or review it. So that's 50 quid, not too bad. Yeah, we've all talked about Myra's markups on these streams before. Did you donate, H. Hayes? Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah, post your Discord ID. Post your Discord ID. For anybody that donates, please post your Discord ID if you have one, and I'll invite you. The issue is sometimes people donate and then like 2 weeks later say, oh, can I have an invite? And then I can't remember if they've donated or not. But yeah, if you've donated, please do post your ID. Polish MP4s are fine. I mean, they're cheek filter masks, but if you mean for virus protection, yeah, they're fine because they've got, you know, NBC filters in them. And even expired NBC filters work. I don't know about the safety of MP4 filters or M10 filters or any of those, but the MP4 is my favorite of the M17 clones just because it's closest to the M17. I'm afraid I can't find masks for you in Malaysia. Right, let me just add you, Hayes, thank you. Add friend. As soon as you accept the invite, I will. It says something didn't work. Double check that the capitalization, spelling, any spaces, and number are correct. Can you double check your name and post it again, Hayes? It could just be there's a capital letter that's different or whatever. I've seen a trailer for it, Tesco. I've got no interest in it. I do actually have a Rift, but I've not even set it up with my new PC. That's the thing with VR. VR's kind of fun to play about with, but I think it's going to be years before VR ever gets to the stage of replacing regular games. Yeah, I remember you donating, Paul, so let me add you, and then we'll wait for Hayes to get back with his ID. And that one doesn't work either, it's the Stimp one. Can you check your one as well, Paul? I don't know if it's just my Discord being funny at the moment, but both those IDs it doesn't like. Yeah, no, I know he did donate. I'm just trying to get his ID to work at the moment. The thing is with VR as well, by the time VR is mainstream enough that there's lots of games that work well on it, VR will be cheap. Or a lot cheaper, you know. Right, you want me to put on the Piff helmet? Why not? Gas Mask Garage, thank you very much. He said, what filter would you recommend for daily use? At the moment, you mean? The most simple P3, P100 filter you can get, like the Scott Pro P3 filters, just because they are actually very, you know, compact, lightweight, not much air resistance. Yeah, Furnez is a very good mask, Paul. Enjoy going to Tesco with it, people looking at you weirdly, but being totally protected. Right, thank you, Newt. I've just sent you a message. But right, let me try that one again, Hayes, see if that works. Discord can be quite funny sometimes about actually getting IDs to work. Yeah, that's worked that time. So as soon as you accept that, I can invite you. Has the other person posted his ID again? Right, let me invite you, Hayes. But the other person that donated and posted their ID, can you check your ID and try and post it again, please? So I can try and add you. It's an old PIF helmet. This one's actually made in Vietnam, it says, but it's, you know, the old sort of British Zulu War style PIF helmets. You know, the colonial impression helmet. Yeah, it's an IBM Model M Lab 72, you know, the old clickety-clack keyboard with the buckling springs. I cannot go back to regular keyboards now. Once you use an old proper, you know, mechanical keyboard. Yeah, the Israeli 4A1 masks are absolutely fine, spaghetti bolognese. Don't pay too much for them, but, you know, they are actually made for usage by Israel. You know, I trust my life on them because, you know, the Israeli government doesn't fuck around when it comes to protective equipment for civilians. Although, sadly, I think some Israeli viewers were saying they don't make them anymore, which seems a real shame. But Tesco says, how long do you think a Scott Pro filter would last just wearing it from the shops, not in high dust environments? Months to years. Literally all particle filters, I have never managed to clog even when using in dusty environments because it does take absolutely ages. Right, Tower Duck. It is an IBM Model M. The really retro keyboards, these go for like over 100 quid. Luckily, it almost got thrown away this one, and it didn't, because we were clearing out the attic, and my dad's like, oh, I'm going to throw away all these old keyboards. And I said, hang on, I'm pretty sure this is a valuable one. And then luckily didn't throw it away. Quite a few Nick Gaming. I need to do a new video on all the helmets I've got, but yeah, 2 is fine, Tesco. That way, if 1 gets damaged somehow, you've got a spare. But Gasmos Garage, you've donated, so yes, please put your Discord ID in. You've copied it now, Paul. Let me try again and see if it works. If you've donated and I've not seen it, just keep spamming your message so I see it. It still doesn't like it. It says, oh, it says you're not accepting friends requests. So what you need to do, Paul, somewhere in Discord, there's the option so you can change it so it will let you accept friends requests from unknown people. Do that and then I can send you one. But your name is correct now because it recognizes it. It just needs you to change your privacy settings. Thank you very much, Absent. He says, is Italian M59 a good mask? I don't have one, but I'm pretty sure. Is this the one that looks a bit like an M15? Yeah, it is. Apparently they are good. I mean, the straps look a bit basic and all that on it, and obviously it depends, is the rubber still in good condition and all that. In terms of it's got a voice diaphragm, exhale valve, filter intake and all that. Good in that regard. Well, too dumb to die. Part of that would depend on what's available for what price, because it would have to be within the £50 price range. So it's hard to say. You mean like a mask I don't have, or do you mean out of all the masks I had, if I could only have one or buy one sort of thing? Let me add you, sorry, Gas Mask Garage, or Garage, however you like it pronounced. Says, didn't work. Double check that the capitalization, spelling, and spaces and numbers are correct. Can you click the thing so it, on your Discord at the bottom left, it should have a thing so you can, you know, auto copy it thing? Probably a few thousand Tower Duck. I'd probably not want to think about it, especially because I've not got on insurance if there's a fire. Oh dear. Yeah, I've got a few kits set up lift for literally that reason. My CT12's in a grab bag. Right, let me try that again, Gas Mask Garage. And then I'm going to try adding Paul again in a minute and see if his name's... Hang on. He just gets the bit where the chat isn't moving. So didn't work. Double check the capitalization, spelling, any spaces and numbers are correct. Click the thing so it copies it for you. If you click your name in Discord, it will copy it to the thing. And it will be 100% right that way. Caroline says, loving the hat. Thank you very much. Cheers, I appreciate it. What do you reckon would be a good colonial oppression mask to wear with this? I mean, I know a British one's an obvious choice, but M4GP might look good with this, actually. Actually saying that, I want Just try the M98 with it. You've already donated, Absent, so post your Discord ID and you can get on. Anybody that donates, regardless of the amount, pretty much can come on. It's just more of a, perk for people that have donated. Right, let me try again, Gas Mask Garage. Oh, the bit there stops it sitting on properly. That's a shame. Right, let me just pull this off again and sort out those Discord invites for people. Ow. Right, thank you, Max. I'll read your message in a second. I'm just going to try and sort out the Discord for the people who've donated, so I don't forget, and then on a later stream, can't remember if they've donated or not. Yeah, it worked that time, even though it looked exactly the same as another thing. But yeah, it's worked that time. Right, has Thingy Bob set his thing to accept friends? Let me try it. Let me invite Gas Mask Garage. Right, let me try the Stimp one again. Has that been set? Yep, that's set correctly. As soon as you accept it, I can do it. Right, Max said, is there a mask or filter from America you want, C2A1? I should be able to exploit it by calling it PPE. Thanks, but at the moment, no, not as far as I'm aware. I did one C4 for ages, but one of my other donators has actually managed to sort me out a C4 now, so I've paid him half the shipping, and it should be coming in a week or two. But yeah, thank you very much for the offer. But yeah, I appreciate it, but at the moment, there's nothing I can think of. The thing is, I have enough masks, and at the moment, I think getting masks for people who need PPE equipment is better, better than collecting at the moment, if that makes sense. Because it's like at the moment, like I said, I've just been giving away masks for free for any of my friends or family that just need a mask, just because at the moment, I'd rather people be safe than, there's a collector's value on this mask. All right, Absent, let me add you, because you did donate. Yeah, yours has worked. Right, Stimp is invited. Gas Mask Garage is invited. Absent is invited. There we go. Oh, the Discord's just for anybody that donates. There's just a group where people can chat about surplus or whatever, or argue with each other is generally what goes on there. And then people complain that their feelings have been hurt. Not I want to talk down, if people are bullying each other properly, I would step in, or a mod would step in, but sometimes it's somebody disagreed with my opinion, I'm not happy. But in general, it's just if people want to ask about masks or surplus on there might be somebody who can answer it sort of pretty quickly. Yeah, I don't have the SM67 in this room, though, sadly, otherwise I'd do it. Wow, at the moment, Howard Duck, it basically is, because I do have a job, but at the moment the government says I can't go to it. How do you even apply for a tick? Let me look at this. How to apply for YouTube tick. Oh, I have to have 100k subs, apparently. So, what am I, 20k subs off of that at the moment, I should think? Let's have a look. Oh, I'm 80,155 subs now, so yeah, less than 20k subs to go, and then I can get a verified tick next to my name. I don't have a Yankee Pasket. Well, I've got a Pasket vest, a genuine Pasket vest, but I have got the British Armed Police helmet, which is basically a Pasket. I also do charity volunteering at the Blue Cross on Thursdays, but I don't even know at the moment if I'm able to go to that. I'll try and go on Thursday and then see what they say. But, it's an essential job, essentially, because I'm caring for animals and they can't look after themselves. Great says, I bought a British gas mask similar to M45, and it has a thick rubber, and also it came with misaligned eyes. The left part of it hurts my face because of it. Do you think there's always... The only thing I can suggest is stuffing the mask with paper. That might sound weird, but when I got this German VM44, it was all crushed, so I stuffed it full of newspaper so it sort of regains its shape. So try doing that. Try stuffing the mask full of newspaper so it sort of folds out to its original shape. Leave it for a couple of weeks, and then see if it, works properly. Yeah, let's see if the BEM 4GP goes with this helmet. Yes, you're right, Iron Man. It is a PIF helmet. if you can, for anybody wondering, if you can still find BEM 4GPs for a decent price on eBay, they're definitely worth it, especially with all that's going on at the moment. Right. Yeah, if you've got stuff, especially if it's in packets, give it a spray down before opening it, because again, in the supermarket, anybody could have picked it up and then put it back on the shelf. Right. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this one fits. There we go. Yeah, the Furnez is probably a better one, but to be honest, both of these are good masks. Yeah, Absent, if you post that in the Discord chat, somebody might be able to help you. But yeah, I imagine with all that's going on in Italy, yeah, the PP is just selling out like crazy. This is a Belgian BEM 4GP. For the person who asked what the mask was. Let me look it up. Well, the name sounds vaguely familiar, so I'm sure I've probably seen it while searching before. But let me look that up and tell you what it looks like. Oh, Sperience, it's a Honeywell one. So it's, yeah, that would be quite good. Honeywell is very good, but I assume that's their own proprietary filters on that one. But, I've ordered one for that price, Chad. I'll review it as soon as it arrives, which should be any day now. But, it's quite expensive, but all masks are expensive at the moment. So I will review it when it arrives, Chad, and let you know. Obviously, if they're all sold out in the meantime, apologies. But do you have any masks, Chad? Or do you need to get any mask full stop? Because if you need any mask, I can link you to some masks that are still available in the UK for a decent price. A lot cheaper than that. I'm wearing a half face respirator and goggles at the moment, JRB Studios. If things carry on getting worse, then I will go out in more and more protective gear. Oh, Gemmacat says, is the ABC Schutz Filter 74 a safe asbestos-free one in the green canister with orange ring? Right, I've got the older one. So it's like one of these, isn't it? Sealed in a little green thing. Let's have a look inside. If I can work out how to get this bloody thing. I see, it's a pop-off one. Oh, it's shiny, look at that. Let me get a torch. See if we can see inside. Supposedly, all of the Swiss filters after, like, the ones from the early 60s are safe. But I don't actually know personally because I've not dissected them. But where's a flashlight? Yeah, this has a paper heater in it. I can see it. So I don't know if this is going to be obvious on camera. But see that? It's probably not going to focus very well on the camera, but that's a paper heater. Right, let me just see if I can line it up for you. It's not easy to do with the webcam. But... yeah, looking at that, I can see that it's a paper HEPA filter, so this would be safe, especially if you've got the later gen one. They wouldn't have reverted back to asbestos. But yeah, it's got a proper like HEPA thing, you know, it looks like a modern paper HEPA in there. So yeah, the answer is that this one is safe. It's a cool looking filter as well, isn't it, with that red sort of orange ring on it. Right, sorry, let me go back to the chats because I probably missed a load. Right, I'm just quickly checking things. What did Knut say? Oh, Alex donated. Let me add Alex. Thank you, Knut, or Knut, however your name's done. Scott Pro Mask. I'm trying to think, did I wear a Scott Pro mask? I've not got a Pro mask. I've got the M98, this one, which is like the military version of the cheers Bensky. So I've got the military one, the M98, that just takes a drinking tube. But the Pro mask is basically this, just without a drinking tube system in. So Pro mask is very good. Yeah, a GP5, if it's in good condition, can protect you from COVID. But again, if it's in good condition, if the filter's working and all that jazz. I'll be off fairly soon, but I'll stay on a little bit longer. So, are the UK numbers out for today yet? I want to have a look at that. Let me take all this off again. I'm just going to have a quick look before I look for the UK numbers, just for any of my UK viewers. Sorry, I can't help you, obviously, if you're in somewhere else, but unless they ship internationally. I just want to see if there's any masks listed at a decent price, that are affordable if anybody needs a mask. Let me check if the M4GPs are still on there. Right, this is from Germany, so I'm assuming it posts to different places in Europe. Yes, it does. This is a bit expensive, but there's at least one for sale. There's those. Let me have a look. What was the other mask I was looking at the other week that was decently priced? I'm trying to think now. But, there was another mask I looked at and I thought, oh, that's an all right price. If you don't mind waiting for masks to come from China, because I believe China's exporting again, there's these half-face one. Oh wait, no, this is on with bids on it. Never mind. I thought we'd been locked out then. Actually, saying that, this is a decent price for a half-face mask. It says it's disposable, but you could just probably keep using it if it's particle. There's that for people looking for a half-face mask. GP5 for 10 to 20 euros is fine. Just make sure you get a modern GOST filter for it. Probably over 150-ish coffee. I don't keep a spreadsheet of them anymore, because when Win 10 fucked up my PC a while ago, I lost all those the data on it. I didn't have it backed up, and I can't be asked to do a new one. But at the moment, I've been giving masks out to like family, friends, and stuff like that. Just anybody that I know, in person that needs a mask and says to me, I need a mask. I'm just giving them masks. I'm trying to give them lower value ones that still work fine, but at the moment, I don't really give a shit about collecting as much as just giving people PPE. I know. Right, it's not in this room, JRB Studio. The other, actually, I don't. I mean, I could use this one. This is one of the ones I was considering using the other day, but didn't. Hang on. So this one, the JSP Ellipse is one of the half-face masks I've used. The GVS, this is a JSP 4 The GVS Ellipse, is it? I wore that the other day. I can't remember I put it now. Today I just went out with a proper forming dust mask on, the Alpha Mesh one that has like the rubber stuff around it, so it makes a face seal. Right, yeah, anyway, I was going to look, wasn't I, at the actual statistics. So let's have a look. Coronavirus, USA plus 2,551 cases, 35 deaths. Ooh. UK, 85 new cases, 2 deaths, but that doesn't seem like the full numbers again, as usual, because they're not testing properly. Sadly, I don't know where you'd find one of those Watcher other than maybe eBay, but I've not got any corrective sort of, glasses for my masks as much as I could do with them. If you've paid for it, Speaking the Truth Media, and they've already posted it, then yes. If it hasn't turned up within a couple of weeks when it's meant to turn up, request a refund through eBay. But I've had that before where I've bought something, the listing's been removed or whatever, but the item still ended up turning up roughly in the time frame it was meant to turn up. Let me see, Black Nesh, if I can find you the Chinese one I actually like, because there's a lot of crap Chinese masks, but there's one I like. If these are in stock still. Right, I think a lot of Chinese companies are exporting again, so there you go. Make sure you click the actual mask on that link. Yeah, exactly, Jan. If they're not testing, if people aren't following the guidelines, we're not going to be in a very good situation. The UV would damage it, Stephen, but the UV would also kill anything on the mask. So yeah, if you don't have anything spare, putting that on your dashboard's better than nothing. I don't know how long it would have to be under it and all those factors, but yeah. If you can't do anything else, do that. It's at least something, isn't it? Only modern GOST filters, coffee. GP4's are 40mm GOST, not NATO, so they're not that practical for fitting filters to. Spray everything down with rubbing alcohol, Kevin. That's why I like using the rubberish masks, of the encased filters, rather than, using a like surgical mask type thing. Any Daniel like NBC combination filter will give particle protection and be suitable, yes. What's the FF mask, Ivan? The best thing I can recommend to you, though, is this sort of stuff. Find one that's in your country or whatever. Oh, that link's too long. Let me find another shorter link. But what you want to buy is the anti-fog stuff for... I just want to see if I can shorten this URL and if it will still work. Right, it will. Okay, here we go. So Decathlon in the UK has this. Just, look for something similar in your country. But you can get a lot of sports stuff designed for, like, sports goggles, windscreen, stuff like that, anti-fogging spray. Just put that on it if you've not got an oral nasal cup, whatever. Right. In terms of Chinese copies or rip-offs of 3M masks, I found the masks themselves are right, but the filters that come with them are garbage. So if you buy them, buy the Chinese mask and then buy proper 3M filters. There's not much you can do, Beano, other than just make sure you don't do the straps up any tighter than they need to be to make a good seal. Just because if you do the straps up too tighter, it's going to, cause tension on your head and, like, face, cause headaches and stuff like that. Oh, have they updated the numbers again? Because on this UK one, it only says plus 85 at the moment. Let me look on BBC. All I can see on here is calls for clarity over new curbs on life in UK. Yeah, I'll be off in a minute anyway. Oh, thank you again, Max. I think you've summed it up pretty well there. Fucking stupid would be my answer. It's the same here though in the UK. The government's done lockdown legislation type stuff today. When I went to the pharmacy, drove straight to the pharmacy, came straight home, wore a mask when I was out. Lots of people just walking around chatting, oh, it's a nice sunny day. This is a good excuse to be out and about, isn't it? Because my job's cancelled. No, you fucker, stay indoors. Dan says, loving the streams, buddy. It's currently messed up here in the UK. We had no cases around, but all of a sudden 3 deaths announced, and now 46 infected all a week later when they found out. Yeah, stay safe. That's a shame, isn't it? Are people in your area not following any of the rules? People in my area are completely just sort of doing the attitude of, why should I follow the rules? FMJ05, Chinese FMJ05s are good, yes. That Vic said, I wish I had the Fushida A4, watched a review of it. Seems like the Mercedes S-Class for must. Only problem I can find from the Fushida is not a very good voice diaphragm. Other than that, it's literally perfect. If it had a good voice diaphragm, it would probably be my favourite mask. It is the most comfortable, good face-fitting mask out of all the ones I own. But unfortunately, it muffles your voice a bit. Will a ROU mask protect from COVID? Let me search ROU. Is that the modern Russian one with the camo design? Yeah, it is. Yes, it will, because that's a P3 mask, Proto MV. So yes, it will, because it's the whole face piece is particulate. Not a full face mask. Went in a half face mask a couple of times, Andrew. Note the Fushida is made of butyl JRB Studio. Rubbing alcohol will not damage that. Dan says, my area completely disregarding it, starting to get really pissed off of it now, buddy. Hope all is well with your area, but my local newspaper is such a downplaying it way too much. Yeah, sadly in my area, lots of people just wandering around using it as an excuse for a holiday. Richie, I'm going to go off in a minute. I'll read out a couple more things and then go off. Thanks, everybody. Don't forget to like the stream because there's been a lot more people on than likes. But anyway, Richie said, wore my P100 half face mask in Thailand shopping mall, got stairs, but don't give a fuck. Yeah, you're sensible. Don't let anybody stop you doing it. Tower Duck said, hey man, what did you change the map for the COVID-19 last time? It used to be a different one, so which one is more accurate or true? There's a couple of different ones you can use. I like the Worldometers one, but this one I'm going to link to. COVID-19 Info Live is good for just a general map, but they tend to be a bit slower at updating it with like the latest figures. Thank you, Mom Spaghetti. Do you have a Discord ID? If you have, post your ID before I go off. Little Ball, thank you very much as well. He said, how long are GSR CBRM filters last against viruses? Pretty much forever, because they only stop working when they clog up so much you can't breathe through them. They obviously don't last forever against chemical weapons, but against viruses, your GSR filters, you won't ever have to think about changing them in a simple answer, unless you're like sanding in a smoky environment every day when they might clog. Right, let me add you Oak Basket. I've actually got two videos on the FMJ, because I did one on the older one, then one on the newer one. Sadly, the newer one isn't as good because they put cheaper straps on it. Right, I've sent you a friend's request Oak Basket. If you accept that, I'll invite you. Right, FP5 filters have a 10-year shelf life, Mad Polishman. So if they're sealed within a 10-year shelf life, they're guaranteed to work against vapors for whatever concentration, whatever time. When they're out of date, I'd say you can probably go another couple to 5 years if they're sealed properly and they still work all right. After that, you're only really guaranteed particle protection and kind of, you know, smell vapor type protection. They might last longer, but I can't really guarantee them, you know. Let me I don't like the idea of replica filters, but let me look up 3M20. The actual, what you want to do, Thomas, if you get a fake 3M Chinese copy, get the real 3M filters, don't get a substitute filter. Because the problem is the substitute Chinese filters I found to be shit, whereas the real 3M filters are good, even if the S10 filters will last years if you're using them for particle protection against vapor protection. Again, it's up in the air. There's no real answer to that, I'm afraid. Thank you, Bunker Dad. Let me look for you, Luke, and that will be the last thing I look at, Luke, before I go off. If there's still Polish MC1s or Czech CM3s for a good price, I will link them. Right, I found one for a good price that's in the UK. They've only got small left, but look up this one. If this isn't good for you, get another mask. There you go. Swiss masks at the moment are worth £30. Originally, I wouldn't have said no, but... Oh, Bunker Dad apparently had a question. Thank you, Newt. He said, how long do ellipse filters last? The vapor ones or the particle ones? Particle ones will last pretty much forever unless you're sanding, you know, doing stuff with dust or smoke with them. The vapor ones, once open, are only going to last, you know, a couple of hours to 24 hours because vapor filters wear down very quickly because of odors getting in, saturating the charcoal. But if you want to reuse ellipse filters, like the GVS particle ellipse filters, you can keep reusing them for corona use. That would be fine, yes. Thank you again, Altrix. One last super chat. Thank you very much. The P3R ones, yep, Bunker Dad, they'll last forever. Right, thank you very much, everybody. I will go off. Stay safe, everybody. That's the most important thing. I won't be streaming again tonight. I'll be cutting my hair in a bit, but so I can get very good seals of all my masks and not pull my hair with the straps. Am I a Soviet spy? No, I'm not. But right, see you, everybody. Thank you very much. Have a good day, everybody, obviously, and stay safe. That's the most important thing. Stay safe.